few days ago, I created a video which was a blind test comparing version 1 modeling of Tonex to version 2 modeling of Tonex. Now, just to give you a quick overview of what that video was about and how I accomplished this, is back when I received the first version, before it was publicly released, of the new modeling engine, I was set up to do a session that I figured, let's capture a tone model in version 1 and then upgrade to version 2 without changing anything else on the settings, the signal chain, mic placement, amp settings, anything at all. We'll then capture in version 2. Then I performed a little riff on my guitar, just the dry DI guitar signal. I reamped it through the real amplifier, version 1 tone model, and version 2 tone model. And then I created a blind test where we went back and forth between the real amp to clip A and the real amp to clip B, not telling you which version was which as far as clip A and B. And then your job was to guess which one you thought was version 2 modeling. Was it clip A or was it clip B? So I have the results to this. I also have a couple free tone models for you today because I wanted to mention something else about this. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about the new modeling engine online, and I'm hearing a lot of outlandish comments like, you know, it was like a blanket was taken off the speaker, and all of these kind of typical things you hear folks say when talking about some sort of upgraded sound quality when dealing with audio. The problem is very few people have the ability to even do a proper comparison. And a proper comparison is going to require a few things. It's going to basically require what I did. You're going to have basically the exact same signal chain, amp, settings, mic placement. So basically, to compare a version 1 versus version 2 tone model, you would have to have identical settings on everything except the only variable being one was captured on version 1, one was captured on version 2. And I tried to get as close as possible to that on this particular test. Now, by no means am I saying that a YouTube audio blind test is by some means the be all and end all. It really isn't. It has its limitations. And I'm going to give you something today that's going to allow you to be able to do this on your own. But YouTube is the only means I have of delivering this at this moment to get a proper poll done. So the problem is, if you try to take a version 1 tone model that was captured of a particular amp and then a version 2 tone model, if those tone models were captured at different times with different mic placement, maybe a different mic. And when I say different mic placement, I mean even by the tiniest amount is going to affect things probably more than the version update will. So as far as I know, this comparison really hasn't been done other than what I've done for you guys here. So I would take with a grain of salt anybody making very wild, outlandish claims that there's this unbelievably massive difference. Maybe there is, but they probably aren't basing their opinion off of a proper comparison. And it's also very important that when doing these comparisons that things are volume matched. Okay, I just wanted to say that piece. Now, you might ask what I was talking about a moment ago when I said I'm going to give you something. Up on my website at the link below, I've got a free download of 2 tone models. The 2 tone models that were actually used in this blind test. There's going to be Zee Maz version 1 and Zee Maz version 2. I think it's pretty obvious which is which. The version 1 was the capture done on version 1 tone modeling, and version 2 obviously on version 2. Same amp, same settings, same mic position, same mic, same signal chain, same everything. The only variable was that one was captured on version 1, one was captured on version 2. All right, without further ado, let's get to the results reveal. That's what everybody's waiting for. Then I'll take you into Tonex and we'll actually listen to these 2 tone models while I play them side by side with my guitar in hand. All right, let's get to it. All right, so to compile the results for this poll of whether clip A was Tonex version 2 or clip B was Tonex version 2, I utilized a community post on my YouTube channel. The poll got 242 votes as of the time of this writing. So if you see the results get skewed one way or the other, disregard anything after the 242nd vote. These are the results at the point where I'm revealing the results. Always with these polls, after I reveal the results, it seems like folks want to go and vote for the correct answer and it skews the results. So these were the final results. 30% of the 242 voters thought that clip A was in fact Tonex version 2, and 70% thought that clip B was Tonex version 2. So which one was it? Well, actually, clip A was Tonex version 2. So most people voted completely wrong and thought that clip B was in fact Tonex version 2. So that was kind of interesting. Like I said, I don't think that a YouTube video with the audio on YouTube is somehow the be all and end all, but it was kind of interesting. But let's dive in and take a look at these 2 tone models. Again, the link is below if you want to grab these for free so you can try out the comparison yourself. All right, so here I am in Tonex, and I wanted to tell you about something that just came out. There was a quick update to Tonex just very recently. And if we go to the Tone Model tab, we can now filter between version 1 and version 2 tone models. So that's kind of cool that we can go back and forth. We can have only version 1, or we could have only version 2. We could have owned everything. So very cool that we can now filter between those. But anyways, back over to this. We have Tonex version 1 here, and this is how this tone model sounds. Moving on to Tonex version 2. Now, this is interesting because this comparison is completely different. I think both sound great, and you might prefer one over the other, but we don't know without introducing the real amp into it which one is more accurate. So there's a bunch of things to think about here. Somebody could say, I really like the sound and feel of version 1 better, and others might say, I really like the feel and sound of version 2 better, but that doesn't tell us anything about how it compares to the real amp. That's what I was trying to do in the blind test. So you could like one or the other. I guess the real takeaway here is that it doesn't invalidate version 1 in any way, shape, or form. This is a perfectly usable, great sounding, great feeling tone model. And so is version 2. So preferences aside, both are usable, both sound great, and I think, like I said, the takeaway here is that version 1 tone models are every bit as valid and can be every bit as great sounding, maybe even potentially better sounding. If you tried a capture of an amp in version 1 that was just amazing, and then a different capture of version 2 that was maybe not captured as well, maybe the mic placement wasn't as great, then guess what? Version 1 is probably going to be better for your use case. I've seen people say that, now version 1 tone models are completely useless, no good for anything, and that's absolutely not the case. If you have a tone in version 1 that you love and enjoy, keep using it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even think about it beyond that. So I hope that was at least enlightening. And really, this was just a fun little experiment to see. So go grab these free tone models, play around with them yourself. These are also very similar to some tone models from a collection I have available, which is my Zee Maz-terpiece Ultimate Anti-Eye collection, which I'll also have a link to below. All right, there you have it. What do you guys think? Again, the links are below to that free little collection of 2 tone models, the version 1 versus version 2 collection. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts when you get a chance to try them on your own system. I thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to give everybody the opportunity to actually play 2 tone models which were captured at the same time, just with the modeling engine being the only variable. I'm also going to leave you today with a full-blown demo video for one of my latest collections I've released, which is the Sir Bell Ultimate collection, which was done on version 2 modeling. It's based off my incredible Sir Bella amplifier. Absolutely fell in love with this amp and these tones. The link to those is below as well if you're so inclined, and I hope you enjoy the music on the way out. So please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content. I'll be back very soon with some more. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Ciao for now.